less accurate with age, and newer ones ain't any better because they're about as good as you're going to do because you're dealing with handheld observations. So once you get into the 0.1 arc minutes, there's nowhere left to go.
Yeah, it's strange how that works.
It doesn't work.
It's weird.
Except it does
Well,
work, Chemo. That's what
you
we've been
can-
saying. Like,
Yeah,
if sextants
you can't explain
didn't
to
work
Larry why it doesn't
on a
work,
block,
right?
if you can't explain how a sextant works on the flat Earth, Chemo, then you're in trouble.
Well,
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah,
that would be
we can
nice
do
to
it
get
for
an
a globe.
explanation. Don't tell us how it doesn't work on a globe.
Yeah.
Tell us how it does
how it
work
works
on,
on the
a
flat
flat
Earth.
plane.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, how wouldn't it work?
Yeah, how?
How
would it
does
work?
How does it work, Chemo? That's what we're waiting for you to tell us. How does a sextant work on flat Earth? Please go ahead.
Well, you've got to like take some degrees and angles and do a bit of calculation here, a bit of calculation.
So,
got
so
to
where
be
do you
level
start?
surface.
Okay, hang on.
Level
Where do you
surface.
where do
Can't be
you
on a
start?
curved surface. Doesn't work on a curved surface.
Where do you
It must be
start,
level.
Makey? Where do you shut up, Mark? I'm not speaking.
Just like a
to you. Where do
telescope,
you-
it has to be
Mark,
level.
shut the fuck up.
Oh,
Shut the fuck up.
has to be level.
I am speaking, cunt. Don't fucking interrupt me when I'm in the middle of fucking a sentence, cunt.
Can't hear
Shut
you,
your
mate.
fucking mouth. So, Chemo, how does a sextant work on flat Earth? How do you start using it?
Explain to you. You've got to take in degrees into
No, that's
account.
you explained you need. So, where do you start?
Start with a level surface.
It's not where you start. Try again.
Yeah,
Well,
it is.
I'm on a boat and it's swaying, so how do I start using my
What do you
sextant?
mean it's not cipher? What is it then? What are you on about?
What's the first step in getting
just
your
told
location using a
you.
sextant? No, that's wrong though. I
What
told
is
you
it
that.
then?
Start again. Try again. Doesn't start on a flat level plane because, like Slacker says, he's out on a boat swaying around. That's not level. Start again.
Yeah, remember, Chemo, Globus's argument was naval navigation. All right?
Well, I'm just saying that.
Stop putting us on the
Is that the
Yeah.
navigation
We're on
of your
coast.
belly? Is that the navigation of your belly button?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's concave, so we got a different problem.
Yep, I don't have an Audi. So,
So
Chemo,
what you're
please
telling me,
stop
Chemo-
making
yeah.
a new argument. Please get back
So-
to the argument.
Yeah.
On the
so what
water,
you're
Chemo.
telling me,
On the
Chemo,
water.
What it sounds like you're telling us, Chemo, is that you don't even know how to start using a sextant. Does that sound about right?
Just described it.
Clueless.
That's what I'm gathering.
I've just described it.
No, what you said is, oh, we take angles and degrees. No shit. But
Yeah,
how?
that's not
What
how
do
you
you
start
do?
using a. Yeah, how do you start using it?
What angles and degrees of what?
You've got to take. You've got to assume that your horizon
No.
is in its geometrical place. In order to take degrees, you need that level surface.
Well, we're not actually assuming anything because we're actually doing it. So how do you assume something that you're physically doing? How do you pre-assume something like that?
Well,
You're holding the thing. Do you pre-assume that the sextant exists in the first place? Do you have to assume that they work, or how do you start using a sextant, Chemo?
You got to measure You got to measure You got to measure angles between two objects.
Which is the horizon and a known object like a star, right?
Yeah, but your horizon's not physical. That's what I'm trying to explain.
No. You're going back to it's not happening on a globe.
Yeah.
Don't forget about that. How do you
Just the
use it?
angle.
What do you need
It's-
to do?
It's just an angle, Chemo. So what's the problem? Can you not put your arms out like an airplane? Make them 90 degrees?
Mm-hmm.
Right. If you put your arms down, does that 90 degrees still exist?
Yeah.
Right. So why the fuck does the horizon have to be physical when it's just a angle
Because
from your position?
Because to make that
Because I need to make some shit up. Got it.
as you've just been told for the last hour or two,
Mm.
can't make
that what it
your
was?
angles on a curved surface like that.
No. You're going back to it. It's
That's
got
the
nothing to
problem.
do with curved surfaces.
Yeah, carry on telling
Don't
us how
tell
to
us
use the
what
sextant.
it's not. Tell us what
Yeah, I
it
know.
is.
Just
Classic technique.
it's just a device that measures the angle between two objects. And what are those two objects, dude?
So how do you
So-
start using it? What's the first thing you've got to do to start using the sextant to figure out where you are, Chemo?
Exactly.
Well, again, you've got to
Have you ever used a sextant, Chemo?
Got to figure out.
I'm just after the first step,
Chemo.
Chemo. We've been talking
I
about
know.
this for 5 minutes, and you still haven't come up with the first step of using the sextant.
Because it's all based on
know.
the presupposition I just told you.
No, we told you don't do that. Don't go to any type of shape that you're standing on. It's got nothing to do with it. Your boat is in the middle of the ocean. You don't know if you're on a globe or a flat plane, right? Now, what do you do?
I've just told you, you've got to go get the angle between two objects, right?
Are you asking or you saying?
So
We're
when
asking you.
navigate, when you're navigating, you're talking about navigating and stuff, yeah? Talking about navigating, is that what we're talking about?
Yeah. Usually.
Yes.
We're talking
On the
about
water,
first step.
Chemo.
Yeah, on the
Yeah,
water.
the first
so
step that you have to take in order
gotta
to
look
get a
at the, I
correct
told you, got to look at the
measurement
horizon,
from that
dude.
sextant. What's the
through
first step,
Got
Chemo?
to look through the mirror at the horizon. I told you that already. Deaf.
Yes, you did. And then you said they can't do that
I
because the
did
horizon's
say
not
all
gonna
that
go-
in the beginning. I said it's your horizon,
Yeah, you said
your
a lot of crap.
angles. I said all of that to you. What's the problem now?
Mhm. It doesn't make sense.
Of course it doesn't. 'cause
Just
you
some
want-
red. Take some angles to the thing. What angle to what? What do we point?
Yeah,
what do we adjust the sextant to? What do we? Come on,
let's see
man.
how just long this carries on.
I've just
I'm
told you
curious
the
to
answers.
see how long he can stretch
you
this
need
out.
an object. Your horizon's not an object. So what object are we talking about?
You're doing it again.
Getting
The
away
horizon
from it
is
again, yeah.
definitely an object that you can look at inside of your sextant. Come on.
Not an object.
Sextants
Right?
don't work. Sextants don't work, I guess he's saying.
Yeah, you can't use that on a globe.
No. Don't
Chemo's
do
saying they
that.
don't work.
Don't do that.
Don't do
Again,
what? I've just
no-
told you how they work.
Yeah, because we don't care how
No,
it doesn't
you haven't even
work
gotten
on a
the first
curved
step.
plane.
You haven't even gotten the first step of using a sextant, right, Chemo? So
Oh
what is the
my
first
God.
step? What is the very first thing you have to do?
I've already told you.
But you were wrong.
measure the
Yeah, and I'm
angle
telling you, you were wrong.
between-
So what's the first step? Larry, do you want to help him out and give him the first step of
Oh
using a
my
sextant,
gosh.
please?
All we're doing is measuring the angle between the astronomical object and the horizon.
Don't talk like that.
What have you been asking me the same thing over
There are
and
people
over
who
again
are
when I
born
gave you the
talking like
answer?
that, Chemo.
I gave him the answer
Don't be a
about 10
prick.
times, and he was already told the answers before. And now he's
Right.
stuck
But
on
that doesn't
repeat.
calibrate the device. That doesn't tell us how to set it up. That doesn't even tell us what we're holding, what we're looking at, what we're setting our thing to. You're just saying take angles and do
You
this.
actually-
You're just
no,
so
you gotta-
vague.
you
You're
gotta-
highlighting that you don't know.
Yeah, you got it right, Sheeple. Calibration was the first step I was looking for.
Oh, for goodness sake. Calibration.
Well, you can't really use a device that needs calibration without calibrating it, Chemo. You're going to
you
get
also need
a
an
completely
object.
wrong fucking measurement when you don't
What
calibrate the
objects
thing.
are you using? Get your angle
Well-
between.
To be fair, Chemo said earlier that we can't measure acceleration.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. What? So tell
We're
that to
moving
the
on now then.
accelerometer
Are we
in my car.
accepting
No,
that...
but don't let him get
Is that
away.
thing
Don't
that
let him
tells
get
me
away.
going
Are we
100
moving on
kilometers
now
an
then?
hour?
Sections don't work because you
That's
don't have a
not
horizon.
working.
No. We're not getting. We're just highlighting what else you don't agree with. But back to the calibration and the sextant. You've never used one, but you're telling us how to use one, right?
Oh, wow, it's not rocket science, you know?
No, it's
What's
not
the
rocket
eyepiece
science.
on the sextant for, Chemo?
Really easy stuff, you know?
So what's the eyepiece for?
What do you mean, what's it for?
What's the eyepiece on the sextant for?
Oh, here we go. Silly nonsense. Playing games.
Spreading
You're,
pink eye.
you're the one that's
tactics.
telling us how it works on a flat Earth. I'm just asking questions of you as a potential flat Earther. How am I supposed to use this existing instrument to navigate on our flat Earth?
Well,
You're the one that's supposed to be convincing me, remember, and you're not doing a very
Alpha.
good job.
Cypher, we've been called out by Kosher. Just let's back off and let's give him the
Right
ability
off.
to answer.
Oh, it was kosher. Oh, and V. Oh, the dynamics of.
They're here to save you from the southern hemisphere
mm,
dismantling.
alright. But anyway, basically, to wrap it up, that's the that's how they work. You need two objects: horizon and astronomical. You don't have a physical horizon as an object, so you can't use it. Your angles, you can't have on a curved surface either, as you've explained. So they work on a flat Earth because you can have your angle, your 90 degree or your degrees or whatever you need on a flat plane. You see, that doesn't work on a curved surface that doesn't have a geometric edge.
You can't have your horizon.
Picture,
He's doing
I
it
posted
again.
a picture where I used the geometry app, and in that app I just made a sphere. It's like a perfect sphere. I made a blue line. That if you were using a sextant, that would measure 0 degrees. And I drew a purple line that would measure 90 degrees. And then I measured some fucking green line. I think that's like 37 degrees or something like that. And you know that's 90 degrees because if you add those two angles together, that's 90 degrees. Anyways, there was no problem in doing this. This was a perfectly, it was simple to do. So practically, there's nothing stopping this from happening in reality. If you were on a sphere, you would just use something like a sextant. If it were perpendicular, if it were a plumb, right, it would be parallel with that 90-degree line, and the perpendicular line would be parallel with that blue line. So I don't see what the issue is. There's no issues about using that on a sphere.
Yeah, I guess that's it then.
Oh, but Kojo, you missed the completely out of context, lack of context, Fig 3 posted by Globus earlier.
Yeah, you forgot that you start from the land. You act like somebody's just dropping you off in the middle of the ocean and you don't know where you're at.
That'd work. That would work just fine. No problem with that. What's your problem with that? That's exactly what it's for. That's why a sextant is included in lifeboats.
No, that would just be a direction, right? You'd only have one star that would take you the right direction, right?
No, wrong.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, in the course of
Hey, Chemo, why do all the manuals that come with sextants disagree with everything you just said?
Well, they're working with a precept, aren't they? These manuals.
Don't you need a presupposition to get a proper answer?
Well, again, they talk about the horizon as if it's where things disappear beyond bottom first.
Actually, they talk about it like it's the place where the sky meets the surface of the earth.
Yeah, and things disappear beyond.
And that's why Andrew Thomas Young has papers on the dip angle to the horizon, which is included with all the sextants. So when you're observing the apparent horizon, you make a correction for its refraction and a correction for your height above the water, so you can trim off that last minute or two of angle to improve your accuracy. And when you're in a lifeboat in the middle of the ocean, a couple of miles left or right, is going to be plenty good. So yeah, you can be dropped in the middle of the water, and you give it enough time, you can sort it out. Like a morning observation, noon observation, afternoon observation, and then boom, you get a pretty good idea where you are. With spherical trig and habersign and declination angles and measured angles from the apparent horizon corrected for its refraction and the radius of the Earth and on the motion of the planets, of the stars, and the sun and the rotation of the Earth, all these spherical globe axioms that are absolutely proven by centuries of successful sextant work with spherical trig.
Mm-hmm. Not quite, Larry, not quite.
I laugh in your direction.
I fart in your general direction.
A lot of wishful thinking there, Larry, here.
No, odd that
Wait,
wishful
what's
thinking
the
has
flat
allowed people to navigate for centuries.
Not many decades ago, any ship going to Hawaii had to use a sextant, and they didn't get there by luck. They got there by habersign and celestial observations with sextants and spherical trig. So they didn't get there by luck. They didn't get there by presupposition. They got there through centuries of accumulated data that reliably work, that all involve spherical trig, the rotation of the Earth, the path of the sun, and the apparent horizon corrected for refraction.
False. All navigation done with a compass. That's the only way they'll know the direction that they're going in. Not with
That's silly because in flat plane
these sections are not reliable enough. The direction of it you need to go in.
What kind of compass is there? Hang on. Did you just say that they don't use sextants to navigate, Chemo? Seriously?
Correct. He said only compasses.
Jesus
they either use a
fucking
compass
Christ.
or GPS. It's very simple.
You fucking interrupt. Why do you interrupt? I wasn't done.
Demonstrate then
You're dumb, baby.
navigation with a sextant. Let's see that today in today's world.
No, hold on, Chemo. Until
Make it up. Now, before GPS, it was compass. Now I know the Vikings used a compass. To navigate.
Guys,
one way or another.
Guys, I think David was in the middle of a thought.
And also,
I think people are being real bad at it today, man. About interrupting. David wasn't finished.
And also, the Chinese would have used compasses for navigation. This idea about a sextant, again, is part of the narrative. Pure nonsense. No one's ever sailed using a sextant. I mean, this is just lunacy. You've got a compass with you at all times, and if you're going off course, you'll either look at the GPS or you'll check the compass bearings of where you are.
So 500 years ago, did they have GPS? 500 years ago?
They used compasses.
How would you tell that from your compass? Today you look, you're going east. Tomorrow you look, you're going southeast slightly.
No. They've known for thousands of years they're on a flat plane. So that means they know a compass gives you directions, and that's how.
Chemo? Where is south on a flat plane? Where is south in the flat Earth? Where is it?
South is the opposite of north.
No. How could that be? Where is it?
Opposite of north.
No. If I'm standing in New York City, where is south? If I'm standing in LA, or if I'm standing on Moscow,
so everywhere. Let's not go with the must or it should. Show me somebody navigating with them.
So everywhere is south from some point, right? That's what you're saying.
I posted a picture of someone navigating with a sextant in the air.
All right, let's take a on water.
I'm a little confused, Chemo. I mean,
I can't see it.
You say you can't navigate with
everywhere.
If I was to take you and randomly place you on Earth,
I would like you to find your location.
I would like you to find your location.
I'm in the middle of something. The Slacker. No, again, incorrect. They're not just relying on this sextant for navigation. They've got compasses.
Well, of course, you gotta have more than one tool. You gotta have your maps and your compass. You gotta have the sextant too.
No. All this is them trying to see if it's feasible, if it's possible to use. Yeah, so they're trying to figure out, does it work? Can we use it? Is it possible? And that's the guy testing if it's feasible. Now, we don't see this anymore.
That suggests it was some kind of experimental thing, whereas before GPS, all long-distance aircraft had sextants.
Yeah, I mean, again...
it's not like it was something they were experimenting with. You can find all kinds of documentation.
Yeah, there was a window on airplanes in the roof specifically for doing celestial navigation.
No, they weren't.
Until they started building them in. Like in that picture, they had windows.
So,
all right. So you're out in a ship. You're talking a long time. You're out in a ship. You've been out at sea, and there was a big storm that came up, and you weren't able to navigate. You were fucking just trying to keep your nose pointed into the waves, just trying to keep the ship from foundering. Now the storm is cleared. It's a nice clear night. You break out your compass. What direction do you go?
What, at night?
What direction do you go? You're trying to get to America. You've been all over, pointed bow of your boat every direction.
So I'm in England and I'm trying to get to America, yeah?
No, you're not in England. You're out at sea, and you've been in a storm for 24 hours where you can
Where?
just
See, where?
somewhere out in the Atlantic Ocean.
Okay, so I just know I gotta go the opposite of south for a start, and then
Opposite of south, so I gotta go north now.
navigate to the west. Go west.
Okay, cool.
There's
Okay,
even a
so
song
now
about
where's New
it.
York?
Go west.
Where's New York? Where's New York? You're
No,
gonna
I
you're
don't
gonna just
need that
navigate to get
detail.
the
I
west
don't need
coast
that
of the
detail.
Americas?
I don't need that
Are
detail
you just
because I can get a map. We're talking about getting from one
What
place
do you mean
to
a map?
another.
You mean you're just gonna
A
aim
map?
east after 24 hours at sea in a storm? You're just gonna head west and hope that you land somewhere on the continental U.S. There's no fucking map. There's no reference. You're on water, and you've got a compass and a map. Now where are you gonna go? You want to go to New York, the shortest route. What direction is the shortest route to New York from where
I'm
you
not
are?
doing like that. I'm
24
saying
hours.
if I'm in England and I need to get to America, I have to head west.
Why are you changing the question? He asked you something very specific. A storm in the ocean. How do you go from there? Why do you come back to
I
England?
mean storm in
To-
the ocean. So
to
you
New
storm
York?
in the
Talking
ocean.
about
And when
unknowns.
things calm down, when things
You
have
now in the unknown. How do you navigate from the
when
unknown
things have I'm
to
not
your
gonna navigate in the storm, am
to
I?
your target?
In the
You're in an unknown location. Now where do you go?
If I got my compass, I'm heading north, then west.
Okay, and you want to get to New York, the shortest distance to New York. You don't want to take it. You don't want to land down
I'm
in
a wooden
Florida.
boat.
You don't want to land in Georgia. You want to go to New York because that's where your ship's supposed to go. If you go to Florida, it's going to take you another 3 weeks to navigate up there by your clipper ship to New York, and it seems kind of inefficient. So, how do I get to New York?
I don't understand the question. Again, from England to America,
You're
all I
that
got to do
stupid.
is navigate with a compass, and that's it. That's
Yeah,
all
but
I
you don't
wanna
need
You're
do.
to
not
say
getting.
you don't
You're
understand.
going to
You
get fired as a
demonstrate.
captain.
Sorry, more.
All
go.
right, explain then. You lost at sea. You got your sextant. How on earth are you
Yep.
going to get back to New York?
The shortest distance to New York?
No,
Well, yeah,
no. You lost at sea. Got your sextant.
Yep.
No compass. No map. How are you going to get to New
No.
York?
No.
Oh,
we're
no,
using
no,
the tools.
no.
we've been
Now it's
discussing,
no.
haven't we? Aren't we using the tools we were given?
No, because I said all you need is a compass to get from one place
Well,
to
actually,
another.
you know what? I don't even need the sextant. I won't know how long it's going to take me to get to New York, but I can get directly to New
hold
York.
on.
using
You
just
can only use a
sextant
sextant,
and no
Moyak.
chart.
Moyak.
Just a sextant, no chart.
No,
I
you
can
can
get
only
to New York.
Moyak.
Shortest distance.
No, you're fighting for the sextant. Only sextant can be used.
Yep.
Right. How are you going to do it then? Middle of the ocean, storm. You got your sextant. Everything else has gone overboard. What are you going to do?
Got to go take a peek at the North Star, find out what longitude I am, and adjust my course based on that.
Well, go on, I'm listening then. So you're in the middle of the ocean. You set your sextant out.
Sorry, what latitude I'm at?
How are you going to figure that out?
Just told you.
How?
Look at the horizon, calibrate my unit, gonna find the angle to Polaris. That's gonna tell me my latitude. And now I know that if I'm at a given latitude Y, let's say I'm down by Florida, I'm gonna have to head northeast to get to
How do
New
you know
York.
where northeast is?
So just knowing where
Because
Polaris is, I can
Polaris
tell
is
when
north.
northeast.
No, but you don't know
No
if
compass
Polaris
needed.
is north. You don't know if Polaris is north.
A compass is a good usable tool.
That's
and if
why
you have,
no one's ever used a section to travel without a compass.
I just did.
No, you didn't.
Well, having a compass makes things easier when you can't see Polaris, but it's not like you're going to build a house with only a hammer.
The point is, nobody travels with a sextant. All they are is, again, a tool that is part of the narrative. You're on a ball, your horizon's physical, geometrical, and then you can make angles between that geometrical object and another geometrical object. That's the idea.
yeah, and when you use the sextant to figure out where you are, then the compass can be used, but you can't use a compass without knowing where you are. Because
All
if
you
you're
need is a compass. The Vikings didn't have a sextant. They were able to travel over seas with just a compass.
and they didn't go very far from shore, and they had a solar compass. Yeah, a solar compass, which is like a hybrid instrument. Yeah, they knew
compass,
what to do.
still a compass.
How did they use that compass,
It's
Kimo?
just a compass, dude. Whatever kind of compass you need, that north, south, east, west direction.
Stop
That's
using
how
the
we
word south,
navigate.
Chemo. South doesn't exist, Chemo. Come
It
on.
almost sounds like a
Follow your own thing.
sextant.
South is
Oh.
the opposite of north.
Chemo,
There is no
if you
south.
if you're a couple hundred miles away from Hawaii and you go the wrong direction, yeah, you're screwed. So you're going to have to know what direction Hawaii is from your location.
Get your compass
And for
out,
that,
yeah.
you use a compass does not tell
Well,
you.
you would need a sextant and a compass, yeah.
So
And
unless
then
we
you
actually
need to
see
know how
someone
to use a
navigate.
sextant.
And if I had to pick, if a compass went overboard or a sextant went overboard, I'd be much happier if I lost the compass and kept the sextant. Because
you
in the
wouldn't.
daytime, when the sun is
Oh,
up, I
all
can
right,
still
listen up. Listen up. How are you going to do the sextant at night?
You
By
would
looking
you
at
would
a star.
Tommy.
Pardon?
You got
Stars, Tard?
Hold on.
Okay, maybe you can't use a sextant
Hold on.
24 hours.
At night, how are you going to
Okay.
use sextant? Oh, so you got your sextant. I've got my compass.
Wait. You can use a sextant at night. What the fuck are you
You
talking
can
about?
look at a
How?
star.
How?
By reference to a star in the horizon, you need 2 measurements for a sextant. Goddamn.
Absolutely. But to be clear, overcast weather and bad weather, yeah, a sextant is you're going to have to wait for some clear skies. Just like what's his face? Yeah.
Told you,
Yeah,
Larry. You can't.
Well, I
use-
wouldn't want to give up either one. You need
you've
a
thrown
sextant
your,
and a compass
compass
if you want to fucking
overboard.
navigate. Goddamn.
You throw your compass, Larry,
And-
overboard. Now it's night. You're gonna just sail any direction further and further away from your destination.
I am not going to throw my compass overboard, but say some sort of tragedy happened and I lost the compass, but I had the sextant, I would not be destitute. But if I lost my sextant and had a compass, I'd be hurt and pumped.
I mean, I watched the Titanic, as I said the other day. Now, they were in the middle of the waters, and they would have no idea how to get back. They had to have people come and rescue them. They couldn't have just sailed back either to America or back to England because they had no idea where they were.
Tell that to Captain Bligh.
That's a lie, Kimo.
What's the
It's a lie. They knew the position, that they just couldn't get other ships close enough to it in time.
Yeah, there were four.
And that's why by the
4 hours
time
away.
the rescue ships arrived to the known location of the distress call,
Yeah, that's because they
there were
sent
many
up,
people dead.
They fired a
Yeah,
firework.
GPS.
They fired a firework. That's how they were. That's how they knew, like a flare. Yeah.
That's how they zeroed in on them. It's not how they started their trip to them. That only works up to a couple of 20 miles. They had to get fucking more than 20 miles to
Anyway,
them.
this is meaningless because the sextant doesn't work, cannot be demonstrated. It's just another device for your narrative. We sail with the. No.
How do they sell these things to fucking sailors? I mean, they just put them on their boats for ornaments?
Yes, they use GPS. No sailor
A lot of
uses.
people do it just for fun using sextants.
Show me a sailor that uses a sextant. None of them. You don't. You've got your GPS. Got
Fuck
your
no,
compass.
I can't even use a sextant.
Yeah. We had GPS forever. Even when they designed the sextant, we had GPS anyway, right, Kimo?
I mean,
I was
You
They were never talking about
mongoloid. You
I
fucking
was going to say
mongoloid.
earlier, was it NASA that developed the sextant? Because I think it was around before they even were a thing.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm saying at night, how would you use a sextant? You can't.
You look at the stars, retard.
And what's your
Chemo,
second
you're
object?
supposed to be, but Chemo, you're supposed to be teaching us how to use.
What's
a
your
sextant
second
on the
object,
flat
Mike?
Earth.
You got your star.
And
now you
so
take an
far,
angle with
you
another
have
object.
failed
What other
fairly
object have you got?
miserably in instructing anyone on how these things work.
Exactly, Mike. You don't have another object.
I think
What?
you got your
I-
jam down, Saver.
I got a
Yeah, you
horizon.
might do.
Using
You think you
stars
can see
is
the horizon at night?
using stars is wonderful. And yeah, you use the sun and you can use the stars, and you can use the stars at night, and you use the sun in the day. And yeah, there might be weather and haze, which kind of makes you have to go with the hand you're dealt. But that doesn't mean sextants are ruled out at night.
Emo thinks you can't see the horizon at night. That's pretty funny.
Well, how are you supposed to see the horizon at night?
Like
Dude, have you ever been on the water? You look and you see it. There's a
moonlight is
demarcation between moonlight, even dead dark night is not complete.
Kimo, you're blind during the night. Do you have problems with the vision?
What, the horizon?
I
at
drove
night?
down the entire. I drove down the East Coast. I saw the horizon the whole time.
Can't locate the horizon at night. It's not physical. There's nothing to fluctuate. What's going on?
yeah, and there's people.
No,
And that
just let that hang there for a second.
There's
Okay,
nothing there for you. There's no
Just let what
sky.
Kimo said hang there for a second, Larry.
Yeah, you don't see the sky meeting the earth at night.
So during the
But
night,
this is the level that he's having to sink to, saying that you can't see the horizon at night.
Yeah, when do you see a
Like,
fluctuating
come on,
horizon at
Kimo,
night?
you can do better than this. What's wrong? Have you
So
you
is
had
there
a few days
refraction at
off?
night
I thought
then,
you'd
is
come
there? Do you
back
see a
better.
refracting horizon at
What
night?
happened?
Do
You
you
said the other
see
day,
a
Cypher, why
refracting
is the sky not blue at nighttime?
Do you see a refracting horizon at night, Cypher?
I can see the horizon at night and have done before. Yes.
Refracted horizon.
Yeah, like
What's going to refract, Kimo?
the horizon. That's what we're told, right?
But what refracts?
The
Yeah.
horizon, the ground is
No,
refracting.
no, no. What is doing the refracting?
if the light is minimal, extremely minimal.
Light
And it's not
refracts,
hot.
Kimo. At nighttime,
Yeah.
not so much.
To tell, why don't you tell Cypher that then? You let that sink in for a minute.
No, Kimo, you're well in a hole, dude. Keep digging. And by the way, Captain Bullshit, when I say motherfucker please, it's like this. Motherfucker please.
So,
Not
Cypher,
motherfucker,
did you
please.
just hear sheeple here? Not much light.
Calm
No
down,
refracting
Del.
at night.
Get back to it.
So you don't have an apparent horizon at night. So where's your physical geometric horizon at night?
It's more physical than the day.
Oh,
Kimo.
Cypher's gone
That's the
quiet
answer.
all of a sudden.
Were you asking me? I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I
I'm
thought you were
asking
asking the
you,
room.
at
Were you asking
night,
me
if there's no
specifically?
light.
Say again.
So
Yeah,
Why
night
is
vision.
there no Kimo? Why is there no horizon at night? Have you no experience on Earth?
That's what I've got my shaking my head at, Larry. So I'm
Well,
just
how, go
I
on then,
can't
Larry.
believe this shit.
How do you have horizon at night?
It's the same way you have it in the daytime. You can see it by
No, Larry,
any form.
it's the night time. We're not talking about daytime.
I know. Yeah.
So in the daytime, the blue sky meets the whatever colour ground we have. So what's happening at night? The black sky is meeting the black floor.
So Kimo, could I use night vision? Could I use night vision?
Black sky is meeting the black surface. Yeah.
Could I use night vision to determine the horizon?
Try, but I don't see how you're going to get one.
Night vision goggles.
Yeah, but again, what are you talking about? Are you saying that dark?
A
night vision
scope.
spectacles. You
try
put them
to
on your
listen
head
then, are
and
you
you
saying
turn
the
them on,
dark?
and they make everything that was
Have you
dark
ever
look like a nice
used
bright green.
Have you ever used proper military grade night
Try
vision
to listen
before?
to what's being asked.
Because I have,
Yeah.
and I tell you what, it's fucking crazy.
When we see green, you see a green sky, just say, and then a green surface. So the green meets the green, and there's your horizon.
No, Kimo, you're so fucking lost, dude. Honestly. Oh my goodness, you're fucking so lost. Anyway, well, Globus came in as a pupil of Kimo, got wrecked, had to leave, and then Kimo comes in, digs the hole even further, sets up camp down there, brought a packed lunch. Now he's getting his tea. Awesome. Yeah. What if the moon was out in the pitch black? Now what?
And yeah, it sucks that a sextant is kind of weather dependent. Yeah, that happens. But it didn't hurt Shackleton when he got to back to his Orkney Islands, or wherever the hell, after 6 weeks of dead reckoning with his sextant. And a compass, okay, whatever, you know.
But with the help of the sextant, you can travel very far away, knowing your distance, knowing your location.
That's
With
pretty impressive either way. Like, goddamn, good for him.
Captain Cook discovered hundreds and hundreds of islands and located them, and discovery is only when you have its latitude and longitude, and he had a sextant.
Yeah, at
And
night
both of
they
the-
would have just anchored up for the night and gone to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
And
when
then
the sun comes back out, you get your compass out. Let's go, lads. Let's head east.
Yeah, but they have
Because we all know that compasses don't work at night.
They didn't sleep at sea at all, Kimo.
Yeah.
Kimo, according
Yep.
to you, they didn't sleep on vessel. They have it to stay on land, from land to land.
Yeah.
What?
The magnetism disappears after 5:15.
What are you on about?
And you have to document the latitude and longitude of the island, otherwise it's not real discovery, and they use the sextant
Look,
to do
this
that.
is just a poor argument on your sides now.
You are when we see you go into ad lib like this, we know you're just making crap up just to get the triggers. We can
But I'm
see
just
that.
saying here, Larry, what are we talking about? A horizon that can't be located. Yet you want
We
to
all know
proceed.
you're just saying, Chemo. That's the problem.
I'm just saying we've got a horizon that's not physical, geometrical, it's not locatable. But we want to act like it's real, like it's a real thing, a real place, a real phenomenon. We don't have that.
Chemo is a yard in front of you a real place.
A yard. Well, yes, but again.
But if you try to go there, it moves.
What?
If you try to go there, it moves. So it can't be real, right?
No. We're talking about where the sky meets the ground here.
Yeah, seemingly so, right? Apparent.
Well, that's everywhere, but where it appears to meet the ground is at a certain rough radius around it.
No. I'm talking about things where things disappear bottom first. Yeah? That zone, in that zone, where things disappear bottom first, do they really disappear bottom first is the question.
But how you have been calculated?
Well, of course they don't actually disappear. The bottom of the boat's still there. We just can't see it because it's below the horizon.
It's obstructed by Earth curvature, yeah?
Yeah.
So what we find out is if we anchor that boat where it's obstructed by Earth curvature, and we anchor the boat, just said that, but you understand what I mean, we just keep it in one place. The next day, we will see the bottom of that boat, Slacker. How cool is that?
Who hoisted it out of the water?
Sorry?
Who hoisted it out of the water overnight?
Now you get it. See? That's where we're at. We're like,
Is it the Flying Dutchman?
Huh?
Is it the Flying Dutchman? How are we seeing the bottom of the boat?
Blacker,
Black
the
button.
penny's just dropped. Right? That's what I'm talking about. The boat disappears beyond the horizon, half missing, and then Captain Cook says, we're going to rest here for the night, anchors the boat beyond the horizon that we can't see.
But Chemo.
What?
But Chemo.
What?
Even on this side of the horizon, the bottom of the boat's underwater.
No. From our side, we see half of Captain Cook's boat missing by the Earth curve, right? So we're like, okay, we're going to camp up here overnight and watch the rest of Captain Cook sail away tomorrow morning. So we camp up, go to sleep, and we're like, we take pictures. Look at that obstruction. Click, click, click. Look at that obstruction. Wow, that's amazing. Click, click, click. So we wake up, look out the tent, and we're like, huh? What? Did he come back? Did he come back? Did
Look at that completely missing North Star.
Did
What?
Captain Cook, has he forgotten something? No, is he?
Do you have?
What?
Can you
So
give
funny.
a reference to this? Can you give a reference to this account? I'd like to look it up.
Oh my gosh! I'm giving an example, Larry. An example of.
Yeah, but it's not.
I didn't say
realistic.
Captain Cook actually did this. It's just an example of when something disappears over the horizon. Yeah. And we think it's because of Earth curve, as we just established. We can now set up shop, camp on the shore, or wherever we saw it disappear. Wake up in the morning the next day, and then now the horizon's behind the boat. We can see all the boat, And you might say,
Or you might see a little bit less of the boat, or exactly the same amount.
You might see less. You might see all of it
because
gone. It might all
maybe none of us are actually saying that it's just geometry.
It might all disappear. Yes, all of it.
So what? Yeah, refraction. Refraction does vary from day to night. Yeah, okay. So what? How does that matter?
Yesterday, you said it was because of Earth curve.
Combined with
Provide the timestamp where someone said it was just Earth curve, Chemo.
You just now I said the boat disappeared bottom first. I said, yeah, what? Because of Earth curve. You said, yeah. Slacker said that.
I didn't say it was only Earth curve.
Yeah.
Listen to the actual words and not just what you think what you want us to say.
Optical effects of the atmosphere. So what?
You understand what's happening, Larry? The bottom of the boat.
That multiple observations on different days, will point out anomalies, right? So you're trying to use secretly, sneakily there. I saw it, the Black Swan argument about, something further away in
You're on
the
to
next
me.
day.
You're on to me, sheeple. You're on to me.
I got you.
You're
Without
all
you
over me
doing
like a rash. Right.
That's right. I'm well ahead of you. In fact, I'm schooling you right now.
You're all
from
over
the
me.
future.
Yeah, you're all on it.
In the morning, no less. But I've had a good sleep, so it's fine.
So, like I said, though,
no,
so sheeple gets it.
So
Slacker now
stop
gets it.
working with anomalies and work with repeatable, right? Repeatable, testable, observable. Remember?
Yeah.
That's how we now have a refraction index.
All right. Okay.
And we know what mild and severe is and whatever.
Okay, let's take it one step further. We've got on that boat celebrities, or whoever, and like how fans follow the car. Yeah. So we're gonna get our own little boat or raft and follow.
Not Biden fans.
What?
Just not Biden fans. They don't seem to exist. But anyway, carry on. Yep.
Yeah. So we're gonna follow that boat out into the water. Right.
Okay.
Then we've got a 360 degree around us of water.
Okay.
Okay. Got it.
But we're going to have other friends behind us that leave at the same distance between us and the boat that's in front. So we're all at the same distance, miles apart. That would be 3 to 6 miles. Let's say 5 miles. Yeah.
Are they looking at a sextant too? Is that
nothing
why
to do
are they
with Sexton?
Okay.
So the idea is that we're in the middle of the ocean now, and we've got 4 boats surrounding us that are 6 miles away. Yeah?
4 boats surrounding it. So how many are there in total now? There's 5 boats?
5 boats. We're in the middle. 4 more boats.
5 boats are in the middle. So cardinal points, north, east, south, west. Got it?
Yeah.
Now what? Now
they're all going to anchor overnight, and we're going to anchor overnight. Now, obviously, those boats are missing bottom first over the horizon, yeah?
Did they drift?
Maybe.
No, not if we got an anchor.
How far away are they? We don't know. How big are the
6
boats?
miles
There's
away,
lots of factors involved
6
here.
miles.
Yeah, but how big are the boats?
Wait, what happens after?
It doesn't matter how big they are, because the point is...
It fucking does matter how big they are.
No, it doesn't matter, because all of them are disappeared bottom first. The first half of that boat, we can't see it.
Okay, alright, so they're small enough to disappear at half the size
Always
at 6 miles.
halfway missing.
Alright, cool.
I thought you were going to go with some kind of crazy theory, like they disappeared or something. No, you're just you can't see them over the horizon. Bro,
this is fantastic. This is into the mind of Kima right now. We're literally in your head. It's a scary place.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I say, so surrounding all of us now, we've got these boats, half missing. We all camp up overnight.
Yep.
Wake up in the morning now. One of them is completely obstructed. One is revealed all of it. We can see everything. One is in the air, looks like it's not touching the water. And one looks upside down. Which
I'm gonna tell you, it's not gonna happen. Something like that.
Then you have to wonder what.
Where the fuck? Where the hell is that going to happen? There's some serious atmospheric conditions in a
Why?
small area.
You turn
Well,
around.
if
one
you look, if
effect.
you look in the left, you have an atmosphere. If you look in the right, you have no chemo. It doesn't happen. It's not like that.
Exactly right. It's like, let me create this imaginary scenario I've never seen documented or can verify, but I'm going to straw man against the globe right now. You know?
Yeah, because they'll always be in front of you. The boat in front of you is doing a different effect to the other boats.
Okay, fantastic.
And how high is the wind in this exceptional weather?
So you're saying it's down to wind, whether we see it or not?
No, I'm asking in this situation that you've invented, that you've obviously done all the background work on, because why else would you even bring it up? How high is the wind in this incredible weather gradient that we've got going on?
Just a scenario of getting used to understand that each observation would be different.
Oh, so you're telling me you didn't figure out what the weather difference of these different locations,
Not at all,
just a couple
no.
miles apart, is?
Not at all, no. Just
Well,
figuring out.
how do you know that this is even possible then, if you didn't work out the details?
We've seen boats floating in the air, obstructed and not obstructed.
They weren't
Well,
6 miles
How
away.
often have you seen this kind of difference at the same time?
Well, that's easy, isn't it? I mean,
Within 12 miles of each other, 4 different conditions.
yeah, that can happen, yeah, depending on which way you look at it.
One. Okay. Alrighty. Right on.
That's the point of the black swan, is that because the horizon fluctuates, you have different
there it is.
observations depending on which way you look.
So in 42 kilometers, a square of 42 kilometers, we have 5 different weathers.
Yeah, you can have different.
Yeah.
In 42 kilometers.
It's the
Yeah,
Bermuda
of course.
Triangle on steroids.
Absolutely, you can have different effects like this. This is what we're trying to explain to you. Because it's not physical, you get different.
You hadn't
effects at
explained
different
anything.
distances.
You just listed a bit of fantasy.
No, this happens. You can see a lot further in the black swan, supposed to, and all kinds of observations can happen behind you, left of you, right of you.
We
yeah,
only
we
saw
still
one
haven't seen
condition
far
at a
enough.
time in those black swan observations.
No, it can rain in front of you and not rain behind you, right?
And how much do you think that's going to change the refractive conditions?
Oh, by loads. Of course.
I'm sure you have some evidence to back this up.
If you've
Yeah,
got
I
more
want to see.
water in the air, you can have more of an effect, right?
I mean, other than the fact that you're not going to be able to see through heavy rain.
Who said heavy rain?
I did.
I never.
I know you didn't, but I was just saying, if it's heavy enough, you're not going to see through it. But other than that,
light
what
rain.
difference do you expect there to be?
Light rain. Drizzle. Sticky.
What?
Drizzle. Do you not have drizzle over there?
Drizzle.
Drizzle, yeah.
Yeah, we know what drizzle is.
Okay.
So light rays,
Right.
drizzle, water,
Yeah, we get different
And
types of
Christine.
rain decoders.
Yeah.
You know?
different kind. Oh, so we have a cloud that it's providing us a type of rain. Another cloud is providing us another type of rain.
I wouldn't say type. We'd say form. Could say form. Sometimes it just spit like
Form of type.
sometimes.
It's so hard. It's so hard.
I've
to
seen
define
a
those
cloud.
two.
I mean, where it just poured the entire cloud out, and it was like a bucket of water.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Oh my God,
So-
Kimo, you're so out of this world, Kimo. Believe me, it's so incredible to imagine that. So
Yeah.
you have
You've never seen that before, like a just whoosh of water.
Kimo, those conditions that you are implying to. It's how to explain it to you. The wind it have to be very fast. First of all, second of all, the differential of the weather that they are not so different between 10 kilometers away and your observer, yeah, you're here, and on 10 kilometers away is not so different.
Yes, decoders. This is the very point: is that every horizon in every direction is different.
But this is just a
Well, obviously,
hypothetical,
they're in different
Chemo.
directions.
What?
You're like, I'm going to create one example I've seen over here, and I'm going to create another example over here, and I'm going to tie in the black swan over here, and I'm going to, tie in the bottom disappearing over here, and I'm going to say that the center observer can see all these four things at once. I mean,
You
that is
understand
just...
that the weather 6 miles away is different than what it is where you are.
Yeah, but think about what we're talking about. You're the observer in the middle, okay? So all this weather pattern and everything has to be happening around you.
No, I've just said it can happen 6 miles away, and you have a different weather system, different weather.
And
effect.
6 miles away from you is not around you?
No, you can be in complete dryness and have it rain all around you. Depends on where the clouds are. Duh.
But that's not what you said. You
no
said
clouds
there has to be a
above my
section
head
at the
and
cardinal
clouds
point where
above the
it
other
changes completely, Chemo. That doesn't happen when you're in the weather. You're in the middle of the weather system.
No. You don't have to be affected by it.
Oh, so what, Chemo? How does that matter? It's not gonna make things completely go from 10 miles to 1,000,000 miles. Yeah.
No, you're missing the point, Larry. I'm saying if you're looking 6 miles out, you can get one effect with one boat, turn around 6 miles, you get a different effect with another boat, turn around and look, north, look at that boat, a different effect, and just keep going around. You get all boats will have a different effect.
Yeah, but
you just did it around you 4 times, and I said around you, and you denied it. What the fuck?
And not vastly different.
Vastly different. Yes, Larry. Vastly different.
Now you're making shit up.
No, that's the whole point of the black swan, showing you that the horizon is not physical.
All right, Chemo, when was the last time you were on a boat?
Not about me.
Never.
I fucking reckon. Like, seriously, when was the last time you were on water?
Yeah, when's the last time you walked on the beach at night and saw the horizon in the moonlight? Never.
Look, not about me. I would love to give you the stories of, lifestyle, but what we're looking at is...
Well, I've been on a boat many a time, Chemo. I live in New Zealand.
Yeah, and we're looking at the horizon. It's different in different places.
And let me tell you something, Kim. I sat out in the middle of nowhere, right? Like you talk about, in the middle of nowhere, where the 4 boats could be around me, and a fucking container ship came over the horizon. Where the fuck did that come from, Chemo? And it didn't come up. It didn't come up like you would expect, like horizontal, straight up. It came up with the top of the ship coming first, and then the bridge, and then the rest of the cargo ship.
You're looking north. I don't get what you mean. You're looking, say, north, east, southwest, but you're looking north. The boat came from the north.
Wouldn't matter where I was, because I'm in so much water, Chemo. I'm in the middle of nowhere. Enough water to be around me from any cardinal point. It doesn't matter. Okay?
Still don't get your point.
Cardinal direction.
The boat come up, and so what?
So a fully loaded cargo ship that's not visible. I'm fishing in the water. Sunny day, right? Lunchtime. Facing out to the horizon.
Yeah. So
and I've been there for hours. Nothing out there.
And what?
And then I look again, and a massive cargo ship from Panama comes over the horizon. Front of the ship first, then the bridge, then the rest of it leveled out.
What do you expect?
Where the hell did it come from, Chemo? And why did it come at me like it was coming up over something?
Beyond the apparent obstruction.
What's the apparent?
Okay, so let's use the apparent.
Yeah.
Let me just ask you your definition of apparent there. Which one are you using?
Yeah, apparent is like it looks like it seems like it's true, but it's not true.
No. That you just added that last little bit.
No,
apparent,
that's the death.
Seemingly so.
No, that's the death. Hot micing.
Not like apparently, apparently he's coming around here at 2:00.
No.
That's not the same apparent here. The apparent, clearly visible,
Larry, are
right
you in the
there.
Shed? Larry.
Oh. So anyway, Chemo, how do you hide? How do you hide that cargo ship?
Yeah,
Massive cargo
the
ship.
apparent, remember, we're gonna have to introduce the word apparent a lot more in your worldview.
I'm gonna hold you to the definition to
obstruct-
make sure we're on it.
The obstruction is just apparent, not actual.
Well, no, the world is apparently
There you go
not
again.
flat.
There we go again.
There you
what?
go. There's two versions of apparent, and you're interchanging them instead of using visible. Like, for example, that the car coming directly towards me as I cross the road is apparent. If I don't get off the road, it will run me down.
No, it's definitely
clearly
definitely.
there.
Not apparently, definitely.
Exactly.
Not apparently.
It's definitely there. It's not an illusion. That's a real car that's going to run me down if I don't get off the road.
That's definitely not apparent.
The danger was apparent.
The danger
versus
like there was
apparently
danger. Yeah, hold on.
He almost got hit by a car.
It looked like there was danger, but in the end there was no danger, right?
No. It's clearly visible danger, apparent.
But in the
danger was apparent.
In the end of it, there was no danger.
Hey, I think your parents are here to take care of you. Okay, there's no danger in a parent. They love you.
Oh no, Scott, no, stick to writing. Not comedy.
That was writing. Oh yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Anybody's gonna get it today, Scott. Anybody's gonna get it. But anyway, no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Good to speak to you again for that brief moment. But yeah, so the apparent horizon is this clearly visible horizon, right? Seemingly so. So the seemingly so horizon now has. Sorry, just go.
No, I was going to say it's apparent that the guy that makes pillows has no evidence of malfeasance.
Okay. Don't let Chemo escape out the back door.
I'm waiting for you to make your point.
The point is, Chemo, is based on all your flatness claim crap. If the boat was just simply coming towards me and was due to angular size, it wouldn't show the front of the ship coming up on an angle where I couldn't even see the bridge of the ship until it got over the horizon so much that the boat leveled out. The boat was the ship. This massive ship was coming up over the horizon,
backing up the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah, but like
on an up angle, on an angle so high that you could see the front of the ship, but not the bridge. Do you know what the bridge is, Chemo?
That's all down to the atmospheric lens.
Wait. Actually, do you know what the bridge is?
Look, this is all down to.
No, Chemo. Do you know what the bridge is?
The atmospheric. Let him.
Not any peculiar observations. Like, oh, it's coming at me like this, and it was like that. That's down to the atmospheric lensing.
No, it's not.
Yes.
What? No, Chemo. Okay, because I can physically see a piece of the boat that I couldn't see after it got closer because it literally lowered back down into the water.
Try to listen.
No, you aren't listening.
You're not listening either. Let's say you were on your boat, or in your boat, or wherever you was on the water.
And lensing.
I was on a boat.
All right. And then the temperature was to drop all of a sudden when you couldn't see the boat. If the temperature drops, you now then see the boat.
The temperature was about 25, 26 degrees at 12:30, 1 o'clock, something like that.
Yeah. So if that drops
on like a Saturday on the water, beautiful, without a cloud in the sky.
Yeah, that's fine. So if whatever the temperature was, because you couldn't see it, so that was the temperature that prevented you from seeing it. So if the temperature were to drop where you were, you would start to see the boat like emerge without even coming forward anymore.
No, that's physically impossible.
That's
Kima.
what the deal is. Yeah.
That's physically impossible.
No, that's what the deal is. That's why you guys are struggling. What?
Emo, you're lost, my G. You're lost.
It seems like that now, but
you can't see the cargo on the container ship. You can't see the bridge. You can see the front of the ship coming up on an angle to the point where it gets over the horizon, the point where you now see the bridge. Now, Chemo, the bridge is the highest part of the ship. That's where they do all the driving. Okay,
Okay.
you couldn't see that part. So not only was it coming bottom up, it was coming the front of the boat first on an upward angle, clearly upward angle, as it came down and leveled out onto the same distance that I was. I could clearly see how big the ship was. There was nothing on the horizon.
Hey, you won't see it.
From below my horizon.
Shut the hell up.
Oh, shush, Dallas.
We
Shut
don't
up.
wanna hear it. So,
No one wants to hear you.
So we can actually measure the curvature of the Earth, is what you're saying, because you saw a boat going over the curvature. So just show us a goddamn experiment where they measure the curvature of the Earth, and then we'll all have it solved right now.
Well, I'll tell you what we're doing, Dallas. What we're doing right now is we're going through Chemo's example or concept of the 4 observers, and I'm comparing real life observation with a concept.
You wouldn't believe, no matter what you were shown, David. Come on.
No, I want the measurement. Say that was an island. You're standing on one island. There's another island in the distance. One morning you get up, you can see it. The next morning you can't. The next 10 mornings you see it perfectly clearly, and the next 10 mornings you don't. What is your point?
The point is that it's not an anomaly. It's repeatable and observable and calculatable. Then we know what we're doing is correct. If we can predict, okay, if it's going to be 25 degrees tomorrow with the same humidity, we should see this much of the island. And if we do, we can write that down and say, yep, we saw it. Do that observation for 3 months, day after day after day. Tell me you don't have any data.
That's the
Next.
whole point. That's the whole point. You live on a flat Earth. None of your measurements add up. How many times we got to tell you that
Yeah,
this
that's what I said.
Well, that's the facts. There's how many black swans are there? 12 million going right now, just in any photograph you look at of the horizon.
Right. They're not getting that. Every horizon is essentially the black swan.
No. You're not getting it. You're not getting it. And it's really sad, Chemo. I mean, I really thought that in the last 6 months we could have advanced past last year. But
your boat was beyond the horizon. You couldn't see the boat, you said. And that's simply because it's behind an apparent obstruction. Something you guys got to deal with.
The water,
gotta deal
the
with
water
this.
is physical, Chemo.
But the obstruction isn't.
That's weird.
What?
He's basically saying that the obstruction, the apparent obstruction, is brought forward and backwards purely due to the temperature of the Earth, and that's why you can't see the ship. Obviously, that's ridiculous, because if that was the case, we should be able to see the ship from much further away than we ever do, because it's quite a big object. Yet, even with the best case scenario and a massive container ship, you still can't see it when it's sort of 11, 12, 13 miles away.
No, I mean, once again...
That's right. And the last thing to disappear is the container, and the first thing to see is the front of the ship, because, like I told you about repeatable, observable, I didn't go fishing just once in summer. I went every weekend.
Yeah, but like David's
for
saying,
consecutive
that
weekends
just
to the same place, Chemo,
Earth curvature.
on the same day. And guess what? Those container ships run on a schedule, and they come from Panama quite a lot. And it is a big ship, not a small ship. I'm talking fucking massive.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. But, you know, if you can't see it...
And so at the same distance on every day, it disappears at the same rate known at the curvature rate of the Earth and for the distance from me to the ship itself. Every time, no matter the conditions, you've got a problem.
Look, all we're interested in is that ship obstructed because of Earth curve? I'm not interested in the refraction, light, temperature, conditions, anything else. Other than, is it because of the physical Earth causing obstruction? Now, obviously, you tell us...
it's the physical water on the Earth.
Yeah, that's Earth curve, sheeple. That's Earth curve.
No. Don't go past what's obstructing. You ask what's obstructing. Now, the reason the water obstructs like that is because of Earth curve. But what's obstructing the boat is the water.
Oh, just a wave or something.
fucking wave. If there was a wave as big as a container ship, I wouldn't be on the water in a 26-foot
Dude,
long fucking
Is it
boat.
because of the Earth is curving, or is it because of just the water?
I just fucking told you.
What? The Earth curves.
The
That's
Earth's
Earth curve.
water is physical. It blocks the way it does based on the way the water is wrapping around the Earth's curvature. But
Curving around the
what's blocking the boat, Chemo, is physical water.
Not the obstruction part.
Unless you claim that boats don't they don't go on water. They don't actually sit on the water.
Try and stick to the
Like-
topic.
No, I'm just trying to clarify what your point is. Because all of a sudden the boat doesn't use the water. Doesn't cut through the water.
Well, you know that the ground rises up, yeah? Ramps up. You know this already, yeah?
You know that boats sit in water, right?
They sit in the water, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, you're confusing that part of the water with Earth curve. Aha. Get it?
No,
now?
Chemo.
Yeah?
You're trying to apply the curvature of the Earth as a non-physical obstruction. I'm telling you that due to the curvature of the Earth and the physical water around it, that's what's obstructing the
how do you
physical
explain then?
water. The water you can jump into.
Alright, listen. We're going to put like a radio. I don't know. I might get the names wrong here, so don't jump all over me. But just dig what I'm trying to explain. So we're gonna put like a radio signal thing, like just under halfway of the boat, right? So it's at the bottom half of the boat. So I don't know if you want to like. I don't know how you
A radio signal thing. I'm
like
just
a
going to have to ask you to
transmitter
clarify
or
just a
receiver,
little bit more.
like a receiver thing, right? So basically, we're going to fire out a radio signal, right? At that.
Okay.
I don't know if you're called transponders or whatever.
So
they
you got
are.
a transmitter and a receiver, Chemo. So who's sending the signal? Are we sending
We're
the signal, or is the
sending
boat
the signal. Yeah, this is just so you can. This is just to illustrate.
I'm just trying to work out who's doing what. Okay, TX,
Yeah,
RX.
so
Okay.
you can visualize what I'm trying to get at.
Right,
So
okay,
We're gonna
okay.
we're gonna like it's like a sticky thing. We can stick it to the side of the boat, like it was a bomb, but it's not a bomb. You know, like they do in the movies. They stick it to the side, like a magnetic thing. Right? You understand?
Okay.
Do you understand or not?
Got a signal on the boat under the water.
But it's not a no. No. Got the boat right in front of us. Hasn't left the port yet. We stick on it.
Okay.
A receiver thing.
Where do we stick the receiver thing? Anywhere.
On the boat, the bottom half of the boat.
There is a lot of places to put the fucking boat,
Bottom
man.
half of the boat. Bottom half.
Okay.
That's
Is
not
this
in the
like
water. It's
An
not gonna go in the
aerial
water.
device, right?
What?
An aerial device. Some type of aerial device that's pointing back towards us, okay? Are we putting it on the back of the boat, the side of the boat? Where?
No, it's just like a square.
Halfway up the hull?
Just I'm thinking of
What?
of a cube or a square thing we can just stick on the side of the boat.
Okay, so now it's on the side of the boat. Okay, yep.
On
Go.
on the side of the boat.
Yep.
Not
An
inside.
arbitrary position on the side of the boat. Got it.
The bottom
Now
half.
what? Bottom half of some arbitrary position.
Now, what we're going
Got
to
it.
do, we're going to send our signal. So the boat hasn't left yet. It's right in front of us. We're going to test our thing. We're going to turn our machine on, our handheld device.
Transmitter. All right, we're going to send it to the receiver on the boat halfway up the arbitrary point of the boat. We don't know how big it is. Yep.
Both will beep.
Got it.
Beep, 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 beep. It's connected,
Yep.
yeah?
Got it. Mm-hmm.
We're going to put our hand in between it, and it won't do any beep, beep, beep. No beep, beep, beep. Yeah? We put a book, again, no beep, 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 because it's blocked by the obstruction, yeah? We're testing it out first, right? So, we've got this, can I call it a transponder? That sounds more...
No, transponder is what's on a plane. Transmitter is what sends
Transmitter. So we've got this transmitter.
Yeah.
What is it, a transmitter or a receiver?
Yeah, transmitter sends, a receiver
Receives.
fucking shocking receives.
Correct, yes. So you understand so far? Our hand is in front of it, no beeping. We move our hand, beep, 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 beep. It's like a metal detector, right? But it's only like a radio thing, right? You got it?
Okay.
So now
I
we
think
know.
you need to.
Now we
I think
know.
you need to just maybe understand where this could go wrong early.
No, because you know I'm about to
but it's
destroy
not
you now.
a
Now
signal
you
is
understand
not
the
a
principle.
signal is not a beam. Just so you
You know where
that,
this is
right?
going, and now
It's not a laser beam.
You're worried now how to get out of it.
No. I'm just letting you know. When you send something via something, it goes in like a bubble. You know, it kind of bubbles out. Like the first part's the strongest, and then it kind of goes behind it, and it kind of spreads out. It kind of spreads out like a curve as a curve beacon. Beam. Yeah. So it's not a straight beam that you're trying to connect us to, right? It's kind of like a pulse receive thing. You know, you ever seen like a Wi-Fi, a Wi-Fi signal picture symbol? That's what we're dealing with.
No.
Okay.
You just said it there. Pulse. We're dealing with the pulse thing.
Yeah.
That's not the spreading out beam. This is a direct beam.
No,
that doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It's not a laser.
Point-to-point direct beam with an aerial. You can create a cone, and you can specify the angle of that cone, but you cannot do like a point-to-point beam.
Thank you, Joss. Thank you.
It doesn't matter because
maybe we should use some technology you're familiar with, Chemo.
It doesn't matter because, like I said, we're gonna put our hand in front of the device, and it's not gonna. Those bubbles.
You can't block a signal with your hand. What the fuck is wrong with you?
So if you want to do that, you'd have to cover it in some reflective surface. Tin foil would be a good example.
No. This one doesn't work by going. You can't send a beam through the Earth, guys. Stop being silly. I can't
new technology.
I can't send a signal to Australia, can I? Through the Earth.
Yeah. Well, you're not through the Earth, but you. Can
through the Earth demonstrations prove it.
No, I said you
said not through the
Earth.
Not through the Earth.
Send it around
right.
the Earth.
So we're clear on that. Not through the Earth. Yes.
Right. Okay. Let's play this. Okay. Let's pretend this imaginary technology exists. Okay. Let's carry on. Let's not get too far in the weeds with the truth.
Yeah. So
let's go with fantasy because it's more fun playing.
Yeah. Well,
pretend.
we're almost finished now. We're almost done. Now we understand.
The boat is there. The boat is there. The receiver's halfway up the boat on the side, and the boat hasn't left yet. Go.
Boat now leaves because we've done the test to see if we can block the signal or not. That's the most important thing. Can we block the signal with the physical object? And it turns out yes. It doesn't beep because it can't go through physical objects. It can't have any impedance basically. It needs a direct line of sight to work.
Now what?
Now send the boat out. Boat's obstructed. Disappeared bottom first. You're going to say, well, I can't see it. We can't see it. That's not going to be able to hit it from because it can't see it. We fire it. We get beep, 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 beep. Now what? How do you explain?
Okay. That's a totally ridiculous concept. Now let's try this one. Here's a question. If I had a huge roll spindle of wire, and I connected it to the top of the ship.
Very heavy, by the way, but carry on.
And I let the ship go away, all the way. Would that wire eventually be pulled down under the water?
Oh, that's a good one. No. Never get wet, ever. So let's say we put the wire...
You're saying the angle of the wire, if I locked it at one position and I let it just feed out like a fishing line. I don't know if you've ever been fishing, but
so let's say, okay,
and then would that line of that angle ever go down into the water?
No, it wouldn't. It would stay straight, parallel with the water surface. Never ever go below the obstruction. Never go through that hump. Don't like. I know you don't like this hump, this obstruction that's in between.
I don't mind hump. I don't like the.
Well, you don't like the term hump because
I don't mind hump.
You say it's not a hump, but the idea is that between you and the boat, there is physical water obstructing. It should be wet, like you said, and it's not. That's a general idea.
Well, that's your claim.
Oh no! I mean, again, this is we have Marconi, straight line of sight, basically, essentially a line.
Oh, don't bring Marconi in with your
Oh, we love
haphazard
Marconi.
version of what
Marconi
happened.
Helps us.
Okay.
annihilate.
What was the signal?
Yeah,
What was the message that was sent out by
I
Marconi?
don't remember those.
You don't even know
I don't need to know those.
those icky details.
What
and
I
truth.
need to know is that will he make it across the ocean? Yes, made it across.
Right. So you think if I had enough, because you like to play pretend, so if I had a boat, the same boat, now it leaves from New Zealand and it goes to England, right?
Yeah.
And I got a wire attached to it.
Yeah.
That wire is going to stay horizontal forever. That's what you're saying?
Absolutely. Never curve between water, yeah. Straight line of sight. A straight line of sight from England to New Zealand. Unless obviously there's mountains in the way. Obviously, but we're talking about...
No, it's across water. We're going across
so
water.
Across water, yeah. So
it's a beeline straight for England. I know we've got to hit land and all the rest of it after that, but it's a beeline straight from New Zealand to England.
Look, we can get Marconi and be like, hey, can you send my friend over across the water as a signal? Bang, you get your signal, straight line of sight.
Oh man, it's funny, dude.
That's reality.
All right, Kimo.
That's the science.
That was a really
that's the engineering that you have to face.
That was really insightful. Yeah. It was. You've given me insight into your brain and the operation of how you understand things, and it was very.
We have underwater cables, so they do measure long distances, like with a tape measure, because they've got to measure the cable to go from one country, from America to England, and all the way around to New Zealand and Japan. All the countries are connected with wires. So they've got to measure those wires, obviously. And that's how they could measure around the ball if you needed to. But nobody's done that. Because it would show that
those
it's not.
wires aren't all connected and none of them run in straight lines.
Yes, all the wires. There's wires that connect straight from here to America.
What?
Wires, your connection, your high-speed cable. High-speed,
I don't think so.
Fiber optics.
I don't think so, Kimo.
Right now, me and you are talking on wires running through the oceans, yeah? It's like a normal phone. Instead of going above, instead of having like phone masts, just have it underwater.
I don't think that works.
That's exactly how it works. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to communicate sheep without the wires, yeah?
No, we communicate by radio before we have the transatlantic cables, Kimo.
Yeah, that's one way.
So we don't need the wires then, do we?
But can we use that for the internet, though?
Yeah.
So,
No, we can't use that for the internet.
No.
It's going to be
You can
tapping
use
out.
a radio signal.
How can I pick
You
up the
can use a
internet
radio
in
signal
Australia?
For data. We use a different frequency, but we can use radio.
Oh, yeah. So you're saying you can pick up providers in Australia?
If they were transmitting on the right frequencies.
And you just started making things up now.
But we use radio to transmit signals all the time, Kimo.
So you think you can pick up Australia's internet providers?
No, I never said that, Kimo.
That's what you're trying to say.
No, I'm not trying to say that.
Oh, good.
You didn't say that.
Almost trying to get that in there. Like, yeah, that can be done, but no.
No, I said that you can send data over radio waves. That was my claim. Do you want to challenge
And
that?
I'm talking about the internet.
Yes, I'm saying that you can get an internet connection using radio.
You can pick up Australia's...
Did I say that? I said you could get an internet connection using radio waves.
What, in your own country, of course?
No,
we're talking about other people's providers.
Between Norway and America.
You can pick up America's internet providers.
You don't understand how the internet works, do you?
Yeah, I don't know what you mean by just going onto American internet for using your own internet.
What?
Why would you engage in arguments you don't understand?
I think my last meme that I posted, you don't understand the technology too much. Should we move to something you do understand and that you can argue for? Because at the moment, the lack of knowledge you have on how the internet works or how it's connected together is staggering for me.
Very clear. I just told you, underwater cables.
Fair enough.
Very simple. That's what connects me there with sheeple.
Have you tested
cables.
that?
Have
When
you
you
tested
go
that?
when you go to google.com, what happens? Like, what actually happens in your browser?
You dial up some elves.
How do you dial up? Who knows? Who
Dial up
knows what
some
Google-
elves, and then they start
Who
peddling
knows
their,
what
peddling their machine.
Google.com
Dial
is?
up.
Huh?
You dial up
Dial
what?
up, yeah.
You talk to your DNS servers, right? And then you say, "Who has Google.com? Who's that?" You get
Look,
an
the
IP
point
address,
is,
right?
we're debating a little bit here because it's figuring out if the horizon for people is.
No, what we're highlighting your lack of understanding, and then still the need to argue things
It's
you don't
irrelevant
understand.
That's all
It's
irrelevant.
not irrelevant. It's quite important to an argument. It's like I'm going to have a debate in Chinese. I don't speak Chinese,
I mean, again, that's
but
all
I've heard
irrelevant.
it before.
All we're
I
trying to
think I know what Chinese might do. You know, I mean, come on,
All
man.
we're
Like,
figuring out is, do we have line of sight to our receiver on the boat? Yes, we do. Even though it's blocked by what you say is water, still have a connection.
Which is the whole getting back to the whole sextant thing, that it changes as your position changes. Like, goddamn.
So what you want about? Once it's obstructed by the Earth, you have no line of sight. Therefore, you should not connect. Yet somehow, just like the BT towers here in England, they connect.
Yeah, once you go further, you
They're
can
supposed
see
to be
beyond
blocked
the
by
curve. Oh, goddamn.
Just like the BT towers here in England, Birmingham to London are supposed to be blocked by Earth curve, but yet somehow they're able to have line of sight. See? Going there.
well, I don't think they have line of sight.
No, you don't like the fact that they have line of sight. That's the
was
point.
You
funny
probably
about
don't
5
even
years
tell
ago,
us the height
Kimo.
of these things.
Oh,
That
I
was
don't know
about
the numbers.
5 years
Figured it
ago,
out.
Chemo, and how erroneous that observation was. And there was a load of people that commented on it, which is why that argument was dropped. But good memory, fair for that.
Oh yeah, there's always a lot of incredulity with these things, but they don't go away. They don't change the fact that that's what we use to show to the
Well,
public.
you're making the claim that's what we use. Would you like to demonstrate that that's true?
What's true?
The BT radio tower in London has visibility of the BT radio tower, line of sight visibility to the radio tower in Birmingham.
Oh yeah,
So
that's
prove
been
that.
covered. It's all over the internet.
No,
now.
I want you to prove it. I want to see your tests, your measurements, your data, your video. Come on, timestamp.
Timestamp.
Like
Exactly.
I just said, it's just one of those features we
So you
have.
don't know, do you?
Well, yeah,
for
just
our
show us.
argument
Show us. How about that?
When it comes to radio signaling, we have line of sight. That's what I'm pointing out.
Well, no, that's your claim. You haven't proved it. You can make all the claims you want, Kimo. We don't
Can
care.
you show
Let's
that?
demonstrate it's true.
Oh yes, I mean, like I said, the information.
Well, don't say, oh yes, do it.
Yeah, it's been documented. It's out there.
No, I don't believe in your documents. You could have written them.
I could have, but then
Yeah, I
you have
think
to
you've
go.
written-
You'll have to
I
go
think-
down.
I think you did.
Hold on.
That's
What
yeah.
what
So the only way you're going to be able
documentation?
to verify it then is to go there and measure it yourself.
No,
Kimo,
it's your documents.
we might be
Kimo.
wrong, but what documentation are you talking about?
Oh, there's an abundance out there. The ones that Just said that's been debunked.
There's an abundance out there.
Yeah, the ones that
I
Just
can't cite
that
one right
video,
now.
The video that you Just
You
is
can't
talking
show any
about is the one that he
experimentation
said has
he's
been
done to
debunked.
validate or verify them. He's just assuming.
So
that
Just
they're
knows that
correct. How
video. He's just
interesting.
seen it.
Why are you
Remember?
making these assumptions, Kimo?
Did you
You're just
see this
trusting.
video?
You're just trusting other people, but that might not be the best.
I am, yeah. I mean, for me, this doesn't make or break. I'm just saying we've got more stories, more information to tell us that there is line of sight with their radio signaling.
But you don't know, do you?
I haven't measured it myself, but there's no
No,
reason
you
why
don't
they would
know.
lie. We're not on a
Yeah, I know,
globe,
you
so there's
don't
no
know.
reason to lie here.
Yeah.
I know, but you don't know, do you?
Well, I mean,
not on a globe. I know for a fact the Earth, at this moment, currently has no curvature to it, like over water.
You don't. No, you don't.
there's
You don't know.
more
You don't
curvatures.
have anything that resembles evidence.
Science.
You don't have anything.
How can water conform around the exterior of an object?
Well, the body of
Because
science-
water conforms to the
science
forces acting upon it.
And what
The
forces might they be?
vast majority of
The
science
uniform
and the body of science.
gravity.
Yeah, but we
That's
understand
your
that gravity is
best-
not a force now,
it's
and it's been replaced and superseded by other science.
No, it hasn't.
Well, Speak to Einstein about his
So
understanding.
just you cut off there at the end, both by me and everyone else.
It's all good. It's all good.
I don't know if there's a delay right now. It's just...
No, you can't introduce any forces. Science tells us that if you try to have water around the exterior, it's going to fall off. Relative density and all those things. So
wrong.
Well, actually, relative density says that it would stick to the ball because the vacuum of space is less dense than the atmosphere. The atmosphere is less dense than the water, and the water is less dense than the silicates that lie beneath it. So, according to the density tower model that you want to introduce, density equilibrium, surely the atmosphere has found its equilibrium by being above the water and below the vacuum, i.e. the vacuum being less dense, the air being more dense, the water being more dense than that, and the earth being more dense than that. So where does that break the laws?
Because we
of
don't have
density
a
equilibrium?
vacuum space.
Well, again, I'm just
no such thing as a
so if you don't
vacuum.
have a
That is
vacuum in space,
an
then you could be
idea
forced to
that
heat
to
the
support the
atmosphere.
idea that we're on a globe with gas on next to empty space to be your vacuum.
Well, you
Actually,
call
Kim,
it a
all we need is the layer of air above pressing down on the layer beneath it, all the way down to ground level.
Oh, I get that, but the only way it
you-
can be
you think
pressed
low
down
pressure.
is if it's being pulled by gravity.
No,
What's that, Mole Man?
Necessary antecedent.
Yeah,
It's a
density
necessary
disequilibrium is
antecedent for
equally
the
as good
pressure.
and demonstrates it perfectly well.
It's a
We have
necessary
more dense stuff below less dense stuff.
Exactly.
necessary
Isn't
antecedent
it
for the
density
pressure.
equilibrium another name, specific gravity?
Yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
we're talking about relative density
He just
disequilibrium.
invoked gravity to deny gravity.
What? Relative density disequilibrium.
Is false because I can weigh objects that are in equilibrium and they still exert weight. So.
Weighing
And they have
implies
the same density.
when you say weigh, that implies a force.
Well,
How do you
I
measure?
can
How
say
do you
that
measure
when you
density?
How do you measure the density?
Yeah. How do you? When you look at one thing, a brick or a rock,
Oh, you look at the
or
parts.
say whether you're in
Per,
particles.
how do you measure the density of
just look
those
at
things?
the parts per.
Okay, so it weighs more per area.
Well, just depending on whatever you
What
want.
do you mean parts
just
per?
depending on the parts per.
What parts per what?
So like water has more parts per. It's more dense. Whatever. Water is more dense than air, right? You
He
would say
actually
that.
took
Kimo?
Riley's parts per million and thinks that it's a valid thing.
Exactly. And Riley also said he didn't know what those numbers meant. No, those numbers
Yeah, he
don't mean
said that it
anything.
can be unicorn farts.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what those numbers mean.
Oh my!
Callable be
You're
thy
trying to
name.
figure out how
Kimo.
much density is that, so you'd have to figure it out.
In
right, with
you,
the
there's a
device.
lot of density in the upper
Yeah, we
cranial
know.
region.
We
So,
know that
Kimo,
water.
you would say the same water has the same density as like a certain amount of like air. If you measure them together, like 18,000 cubic meters of
where you
air
at?
would measure one. Yeah.
X. Carry on, monkey. Kimo's looking for an escape.
Nah, I think he is.
We know that water's
but I
density is
mean,
1 kilo per liter. Kilogram per
when it
liter is
starts to
water's
get
density.
silly. David is here also.
1 liter?
Yeah.
Yep. Weird. All around the world, a liter's the same. Fuck.
Liter, well, kilogram per liter, that's water's density. So are you going to use that or do you have some other definition for density?
So look.
Exactly. Imagine the liters of water on the
We're
Earth, Kimo.
listening, Kimo. You sound pretty exasperated, but
Yeah, you're pretty destroyed. You tried to come in and save Globus, and ended up digging a tunnel.
No, I mean, look. At the end of the day, you guys are working with.
There's no light at the end of the tunnel. Turn around.
You're working with theoretics, not practicality. So, you know, as per usual, the conversation.
Right, Kimo.
We're gonna
Hold
have
on.
to look at
How many liters of water are said to be on Earth?
Goodness, a good few buckets. I would.
A good few buckets. Now, what was said before was 1 liter equals 1 kilo, right?
Okay. If you say
Right.
so.
So imagine all that water connected together. How heavy that is.
You only get the weight though from the walls of the container.
No.
What?
You
No,
don't
you
have
won't.
it, like.
What are you talking about?
So
You
all
could throw that. You could
contain a
throw
drop
that
of
water
water.
in the air, Chemo, and as it comes down, it's still a kilo.
well, it won't be unless it touches the surface. Remember,
Wrong.
weight
Oh,
is
and the Earth
based
has
on
a
the relative
surface,
density.
so-
Yeah.
Oh,
Here's your
the pressure
surface.
of the water is gonna still push down either way.
Babs doesn't like this at all. I know, Babs, but look, the fact is,
Babs
gravity's
is on our
force.
side. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it turns
Babs
out
is
the air
always
is also a
complaining.
fluid.
I'm just trying to
Yeah.
explain relative density disequilibrium, not just
You
relative
don't know what density is, though.
Density is, you know,
You know.
an abundance, and a mass,
Abundance.
a collection of
Mass?
no, not mass,
Abundance of
not
mass.
a mass come together. Yeah?
1 kilogram. I like that.
Facts, figures, and numbers, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, what's density? Well, it's, you know, a big group of things in medium of
Gotta
big
give you
things.
some confidence, right? Guys are feeling
No,
pretty
I just love the way when you come out as the authority on something and you get questioned on the most
Yeah.
basic thing. It's just like, well, you take the two angles and you, and, well,
You
you
don't-
have to start with.
I'm very lazy at
I love it when
explaining
he
it. I
flat
think 'cause
out
it's all
says, Sheeple,
pointless.
oh, we don't
I mean,
know. Like, but you're supposed to have all the facts, figures, and numbers, Chemo,
which
but
we
you don't know.
Cypher. We
It's the new
do.
school. It's the new school, Cypher. And remember, the old way
Yeah.
was.
We like to work with the current understanding, and you keep
Yeah,
on
the
taking us back.
numbers was the
You
old
bring us
school,
back
not knowing any
to the
numbers.
You don't even know how to use a sextant on the flat fucking Earth, Chemo. Come
Oh
on.
my gosh, they don't even work on any Earth.
Except they do.
So they don't. So they don't work at all now, right?
Now when I think about it, they're just made up just to support
Fucking
the narrative.
amazing.
When we delve deeper
Sextants don't
into
work.
the history and
Yep.
why they
Now
were
they
made,
don't work at all on flat or globe Earth.
look,
I bet
Fucking,
composites
it's just
don't
another
work
device to
astonishing,
support the
Chemo.
globe. That's all.
Seriously.
Well, we've been through
Does
it.
a
We threw
compass
away
work?
when we decided what would we use, a compass or a sextant. We threw away the sextant and kept the compass.
We've never thrown away the sextant, and we use the compass and the sextant
So
together.
you got what? You got two in
Yeah.
your boat. What are you going to use? Got to
What?
throw one away.
I use GPS on a boat.
Exactly. We already said that. GPS
Yeah.
or a compass.
Yeah, and GPS
We're going
shows
to
the globe.
We're
and
going
so
to give
does
the
compass.
sextant to the sharks. Yeah, and hope they don't
So
choke.
when you're looking at a compass, Chemo, should you just disregard the S on it because you keep telling us that south is,
Oh no!
is
If you
not
want
to
to
be
go,
used
if
as
you
a
want
word?
to go
Remember?
to ice wall, then we'd head south, right?
But there is no south. That's stop using the word southern.
There's
That's
more
trickery.
land.
Sorcery of the
There's
mouth.
more land, you know.
Compass is for determining where you're going, and sextant is for determining where you are.
No, we can throw away the sextant. It's useless for what we're trying to do. It doesn't help us
Yeah,
figure
but you
out
can't
if
tell
we're
where
on
you
a
are with a
ball or
compass.
flat, right? It doesn't help anybody. Who does it help? Nobody, because we have
Actually,
to
it's
assume
not
that the
useless. It's
horizon's
not useless
physical
at all. I can use it to tell me exactly what latitude I'm at.
based on a
And longitude.
presupposition. Yeah, that's why it doesn't help. Okay, so we've cleared that
You
up.
don't even have to
We
know
like
your
to clear things
position.
up.
You can get 3 stars, 3 known stars, and know your position based on those with the sextants.
I think it's time for.
Looks like somebody hasn't researched how sextants work.
Oh, we know how they work, Beep.
How do they work?
I don't think.
You
I
don't know
don't
what
think you
density.
do.
We're looking, hey JJ,
Emo.
we're looking for those
Emo,
angles.
we went through this before. You didn't even
You
tell
said
us how
looking
to
for those
calibrate
angles
the damn
between
thing.
two objects.
And you just said they
Right.
don't work, Chemo. You're changing your mind within literally 2 minutes.
They don't work because the horizon's not physical, and you can't put them.
But they do work. That's the
So
thing.
Chemo,
You can't
so
you can't
Chemo,
sit
we
there and
use this
say they
example.
don't work.
How are you going to use the sextant at night, Cypher?
We use this example, Chemo.
How
Same way
will
you
you
use it
use
during
it
the
at
day.
night?
It's the angle.
The same way you use it during the day.
How? Go on then. How at
Wait,
night?
isn't
Tell me.
Sheeple Phoenix talking? I
Explain
think
it then,
Sheeple's talking
Cypher.
right
How
now.
do you use it at night?
Wait, no, quit calling on Cypher when I hear Sheeple talking, dude. That's rude as fuck.
Stop saving Cypher. Cypher. At night, how are you going to use the Sextant?
Same way you use it during the day.
Well, go on, and I'm listening.
And remember, you're supposed to be telling us how you use it.
I've
remember?
told you,
Chemo
in
and
the
Flat
day,
Earth?
you take
I've been
two
waiting
objects,
like 2
you look for
hours
the
for you
angle
to tell me
between
how
the
to
two
use the
objects,
Sextant on Flat
yeah?
Earth. You still haven't even got the first step.
Oh my gosh.
2 hours. It was like 2
Yeah, about
years.
that.
We need to
27
remember that
days
you
and
can't
2
have
hours.
flat Earth things making sense.
That's correct.
Yeah, he goes with
Correct.
that. Nothing.
And I don't want to hear you using the word Southern again, Chemo.
Yeah. Don't say.
Southern, south, south, southern.
South is
Stop
everywhere
swearing.
on flat Earth.
Stop swearing. Stop using the
Is
word
that
Southern.
blasphemy?
Well, if you look up a little bit, you'll see Chemo saying it's trickery of the mouth, sorcery. Don't use the word Southern.
Oh, yeah.
Stop saying
Look at that.
Southern. It's fucking cold.
Look, these devices are redundant, useless, no good, obsolete.
We can use GPS.
You're
And
redundant, no use.
know
They
that
are
it's a
obsolete
globe.
now. We can disregard and
Yes,
throw
you are
them.
obsolete.
Throw them away. No one in any, like, let's say you were going to give them away to another culture because they're like primitives. Like, hey guys, check this out. We've got some Sextons for you. They're going to be like, what are we meant to do with these? We've got a compass here. What are you on about?
Well, that's what you would do if you held it in your hand. You probably wouldn't even attach the eyepiece.
Like,
so
I would
you
like to
wouldn't
see
even
Chemo navigate
you wouldn't
with
even
some-
attempt to understand the language that they speak in the first
But I'm
place. So you could
saying,
actually
when
tell
if
them
you
what
were
a
to
sextant
give a
is.
bunch, like a big box of Sextons and said, right guys, look, and they all rush to it. Ooh, this is good. They pick them up.
Which way would we hold it?
And then you
Nobody
show them
believes
how to
you.
use
They'd
it.
probably, what would they build out of it? You know, they'd probably use it as a boomerang on some of them, right? As a trumpet.
Boomerang?
some
Actually,
of them.
I think the Peloponnesians and everything when offered them, actually, a lot of them chose them.
What are you going to teach them? Oh, that horizon, that object there, and that object in the sky, get the angle between those two there. Oh, what about
Yeah,
at
and
night?
then you know where
Oh,
you are
don't worry about
on
at
the
night. Just
and then you can
say and
navigate
hope for the
based on
best
that.
at night.
Funny how they use them for, I mean, hundreds of years.
They've never used them. They used
Got
a
to-
compass.
oh.
That's a lie, man.
Oh. Jesus.
Larry posted a picture of his sextant. Are you saying it's not a picture of Larry's
It's
sextant?
an ornament. He uses GPS.
Oh, it's a boomerang or a trumpet.
It's the boomerang.
It's an
Oh,
ornament.
man.
It's
Yeah,
a
when
nice
you're-
ornament that he has on his boat. Looks pretty. And
When your argument is so stupid that you have to resort to denying the existence of sex or the functionality of sextants, it's you've
they
lost
are
the argument. Now you're
useless,
just playing
Moya.
games.
They're useless. You don't use one. You
Yep,
use...
yep, they're useless. They're useless.
All right, so
Could
give up
any-
your GPS
There
then
are-
and use
there
a
is
sextant
something
then.
called obsolete.
Give up your GPS and use a sextant.
Now, a lot of sailors take them on their boats in case they lose power and their GPS no longer works.
No, they have a compass.
sextant as a backup.
They use a compass, Mike. Very simple.
Only works if you know where you are.
They use a compass.
Look, was Kosho just in Brandon's just gone in there and wrecked Brandon's up, I imagine, now as well.
Correct them.
No, wrecked the room.
Brandon's has been wrecked for months since Ranty left it.
No,
exactly.
I'm just saying, you were just in there with Kosho.
Brandon
yeah?
was running the fucking place into the ground.
Yeah. The writing was on the
Yeah,
wall
man,
when
kill me.
Ranty left.
Yeah, Brandon wrecked it.
And then he comes
No,
back
he got
and
very-
saw the word and says, I'm not a flat earther anymore.
Yeah.
The guy who gave you the
Yeah,
channel.
that
the guy who
Oh,
gave
that
you
had
the
to be a day.
channel. The guy who gave you the channel is not a flat earther. And you say, well, that's just his opinion. He's been
I mean, again,
he's been a flat earther 5 years. Oh,
I
shit.
still- I mean, you see him arguing against flat earthers. No.
Brandon's last argument that I heard, okay, this was the last one I heard,
I mean,
his
we don't really
original,
see
nothing I
Ranty
heard repeated.
active. I mean,
was
he's making
listen,
he's just making
listen.
more or less comedy. For me,
Listen,
it's not really a
Chemo.
debate or a discussion in any kind of way.
Oh, you don't want to hear it, do you?
Yeah, I mean, we can get to that. I'm just saying that you're saying that, oh, well, a flat. I mean, is he really a globe earther? Is he doing what you've done, the big turnaround, like what you're here right now, knee deep
He is
in it?
now.
You don't see
Right, so Chemo.
Ranty involved in, debates and saying, look.
No, because he's destroying every piece of flat Earth he knows by using his perspective.
Like what you're doing, yeah?
Channel, which is already massively popular. But here's the thing. Brandon's last example of what he thought could be cool to try would be if we had a tank of water and we had a ping pong ball and we put the ping pong ball on top of the water and we put the ping pong ball suspended in the water somehow, maybe some claws or something, would it weigh the same? As the ball was released and the ping pong ball was going up.
It's just ludicrous. You jump from one thing to another.
Hold on, that's Brandon. That's Brandon. You just called ludicrous,
right?
No. You brought up Brandon.
Well, at least
I gave you an example of Brandon's last true thought.
No, I was just
that
saying
was the first time I've heard Brandon not repeat and parrot some crap you or someone else have said.
No, I was just on about now. They were just over there with Kosho, is what I was just saying. And obviously now, I don't know what's happened though. But
well, Brandon's a pretty weak ass flat earther, to be honest.
I wouldn't say.
But to be fair, he's a pretty nice guy in my opinion.
He absolutely smashes it when he's on his show. By night. We haven't watched. Gives them no mercy. No birthers.
Yeah, and when he was presented with the gyro data that he never got back to us with, and his thumbnail was a hand pulling the fingers.
Look,
your turnaround was simply business, people, business, not because you're on a globe. Your evidence isn't.
What are you saying?
It's a business. You've got to think about the world that you live in.
I left flat Earth communities before my business.
No way. You left the flat Earth. Next thing you know, you're talking about 3D printing and all this nonsense.
Yes, my 3D printing business I started after leaving flat Earth and moving from the North Island to the South.
Yeah, strategical moves here. So.
It was quite strategical. Spend
the
same amount of money and not find the land and live 50 to an hour minutes to an hour out of the city.
It's about
or spend less than the money for the land and get a house as well.
It's about now
and
that
live
you've
5 minutes from the city center, 5 minutes from the center of the town, and 30 minutes from the city center.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Strategic indeed.
But now that you're a globe earther, you have no evidence, which makes no sense on a flat Earth whatsoever.
I have multiple evidences you have no reply to. I have screenshots of the things you don't reply to.
Why do you think mathematical equations are evidence?
I don't think mathematical equations are evidence.
Right, so you understand what a practical experiment is?
Yes.
Okay, so what is it? What do I mean by that?
Practical experiment.
Just any way you want to explain it, not these.
He's so desperate to dance.
Mm-hmm. Let's say I wanted to test the lunar eclipse.
Mm-hmm. How are you going to practically do that?
Well, me living in the future, I can contact someone hours behind me, and I can ask them what they see. And I can contact places who can't see the eclipse. And I can contact the places that, definitely seeing the sun. And I can make sure that at night time for me, it's sunrise somewhere else. Practical, observable, repeatable.
No, all you're doing
no
is...
calculation. Nothing.
All you're doing is asking for confirmation bias. Where's the experiment practically?
How's it confirmation
bias? I'll ask you a question.
You don't even know what the results are yet.
I'll ask you a question. During a lunar eclipse, is it a shadow on the moon?
How would I know? How would you know? How would anyone know?
I don't know. Have you seen your own shadow?
How would you know? Oh,
Have you seen your own shadow? Shadow meaning no light.
Never in winter. It's Groundhog Day.
No light. Lack of light.
Absence
of light equals.
Take a break there for.
Oh, that's 2 breaks inside 15
No,
minutes.
not me. Which I'm going to take in a minute, though. Actually, I didn't have one
Yeah, I
last
bet
night. You didn't let me get away. I had to continue, right?
Payback's a bitch.
I've got one of them really annoying questions for you, Chemo. How can you have an independent variable?
How? You need to have an effect which has a cause. And
But an independent object is something on its own, in it, and a variable is something that has multiple choice. So how can you have something that's independent but variable at the same time?
Because the variable...
well, that's not logical, is it? You can't have an independent object and then a variable thing as well. That's not... That's like saying, 1 plus 2.
You can't have.
Yeah.
The variable...
You can't have both. You can have one or the other.
The variable...
You can't have 2 answers for the same question.
For goodness sakes. So the variable is independent, not variables. Yeah? And then we're going to vary the variable. So
variable, yeah.
We're going
A
to
variable,
vary it.
right?
We're going to manipulate.
It's a random thing, doesn't it?
No. So
multiple.
The independent variable is on its own, like you said. And then there is a variable.
No, you can't have an independent variable and then a variable. You can only have an independent object or a variable object.
No, we've got a variable that we're going to the object we're going to manipulate.
Vary.
Having both vary.
Yeah.
Manipulate.
Vary. Having one is an individual. You can't have a multiple individual.
You can't have a multiple individual, no.
Who's talking,
That's
Tal?
silly.
Who's that?
You can't have your cake and
Wow,
eat it.
who are you talking to?
Matthew. He's in my room.
Hey up, Matthew.
Alright.
So, you understand the independent variable needs manipulating, right?
It needs changing.
Hold on,
to have
Tal.
one or
Let
the
your
other.
friend speak, Mo. Let him have a word.
I'm speaking to the mic there. Come on.
Alright.
Is it Matthew? What's it say? It's Matthew, yeah? Matthew? Is that the name? Yeah. So, Matthew, yeah. So we're just looking at science, right? And how to manipulate the independent variable, the sole variable that is the cause to the effect.
Alright.
Disagree?
Somewhat, yeah.
Go on, I'm listening.
To be variable has to be a multiple conclusion of sorts. So you can't have an independent sort of thing if it's independent. You can't have it multiple, can you?
No, because that would be
you can have multiple independent things as variable, but yeah, you get the idea of that.